Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. Today we're just going to be doing a little gathering free money. Farming, I guess? Yeah, science data from the space around the moon, science data from the surface of the moon are our first two objectives. So these will be relatively easy considering we have a spacecraft both in orbit and on the surface, if you remember from like 20 episodes back. It was a long struggle to actually get something in orbit, and an even longer struggle to land something on the moon. Okay, good. He's got contact. We'll pick him up first. Alright, and there's our little dancing lander. No longer dancing. That's nice. Alright, and we just have to transmit literally anything home. And there it is. Contract complete. We're not going to get any science for that, but no worries. Alright, we'll jump out to the map view. It looks like neither of our RA8C. Oh wow, that probably doesn't even have its own antenna at the moment. This should, although I don't think it has contact. We will find out, and we will just warp to when it does. No connection. Okay, plenty of electric charge, so we just had to get to a place where we've got either a line of sight, which we do have. I guess maybe we can just relay off our probe there. This should not take very long. Boink! Oh, yep, there it is. And relaying through our ground station. And analyze telemetry seems to be our only option. Transmit. Taking a very long time on an incredibly low bandwidth antennae. This thing still has some fuel in it. And boom, there it is. 2 contracts complete. We will head back to the Space Center. Alright. 10 grand for completion of one and 15 for the other, for literally 0 investment. That is not too bad. Now our next mission up on the block here is a Earth MapSat. Still 26 days away, but no problem with time warp. It's going to be a very quick flight into a polar orbit with a low-res scanner to map the Earth to collect what essentially will be free science. Can't argue with that. Well, it's going to be really low cost. We don't have a contract to do this, but the investment is totally worth it. And there's our long list of rockets that we're building. And as you can see, our money went down a whole lot because it finally failed out those 2 contracts. But 289 grand, we can still keep this thing rolling. If not, I have a bunch of rockets on the block that I can sell. Pad rollout. Let's go ahead and warp until that's done. Good. Looks like it's going to be daylight. We won't even have to time warp into a launch window. Always cool. Oh, and Kerbal alarm clock. Always slowing things down. Alright. The RA8E. RA8 Block E with a MapSat. And here it is. If you don't remember our old RA8 rocket, this is the Block E design. It does not have the RL109 upper stage. Instead, choosing to go a different route with that. I believe it was an AJ10. I'm not 100%. Yeah, it looks like an AJ10. But, alright, let's get the show on the road. Oh, wait. Yeah, we don't have to fuel these on the pad anymore. Now I remember. Alright. Ignition sequence start. Ignition is good. Release these clamps. And just let it creep on off the pad. Alright, and we will be taking a trajectory with this rocket we have not taken with any previous rocket before. Oh, I need my flight date back. God, I keep putting that away. we're going to be letting the people of Virginia know exactly how much we hate them by dropping some booster stages on them. And initiate our roll program to get our heading locked in. We're going to be flying to the north-northwest, at least until we lock in our orbital trajectory, but we will probably counter to go straight north. The advantage to this is we'll actually cover some biomes we have not covered before, being the poles. We'll probably get some mountain biome science. Oops, I did not set a action group. I actually don't think I have any extraneous instrumentation on this thing. It's probably just the scanner and the means to power it, which is interesting. But I had to keep weight down because this was still built on that early core, early controllable computer core, which has a weight limit of 0.2 tons. It is absolutely tiny, and I think at least half of that was taken up by the scanner itself. We'll go ahead and hold in this heading for a little while. It may not be Virginia that sees our wrath. It may just be Georgia or maybe even northern Florida, depending on how quickly these things burn out. Actually a lot lower than I would like to be currently. I think maybe I started the gravity turn a little too soon. Anyway, seeing as how this is a fairly standard launch, I'll probably just speed this up for you guys. No point in sitting through a 10-minute launch phase when you can really watch it in 2. Alright, and we are coming up on our stage step here. I'm trying to keep the apoapsis at right around 500 kilometers, as that is the optimal range for our scanning equipment. So going over that, which we just did, was not ideal. But I'm not going to waste a bunch of delta V. We're just going to go with it and then make corrections later off the probe's internal engine. Stage sep that, turn on our RCS, and gently just push ourselves away. Now, being 14 minutes from our apogee, we're going to time warp up there a bit and get ourselves figured out. Oh cool, right over the North Pole. That is perfect. If not way too high. But that's fine. So we'll just start to set our maneuver node here. 568, that's too high. We'd like it just below 500, 488, that works. What's that going to cost us? 437 delta V. It says the burn will take about an hour. That is entirely inaccurate because we don't have this engine activated yet. Yeah, I guess it's not going to calculate that for us. Alright, and then we will gently time warp up to our node. We'll get within about 2 minutes of that node. I don't imagine this burn will take us a lot of time. I'm still in docking mode. That's why my controls don't work very well. Ooh. 3 free science for telemetry over the poles. Every little bit, right? Oh man, it says we're 44 seconds away from finishing this burn already. That took far less time than I thought it would. So really we just got to keep an eye on this until it gets to about 480 so, or something like that. And then we'll kill this engine, warp around once, and correct our apogee. Oop, too soon. 470. That's pretty good, right? I'll take it. We seem to be a little off plane. I hope that's not going to... That shouldn't affect our scanning too much. Alright, and then we will come down here to our periapsis. Add maneuver and slow it down just a touch. Oops. Well, that puts... at 431, that is within acceptable limits. Go ahead and start to make this adjustment. 53 minutes. Warp around. Oh, did we get to do the whole thing during the day? That's awesome. I did not plan that. Well, now sliding into night. A lonely ScanSat, lost in the inky blackness. Whoop, and the compass switches. We're about a minute out. Let's go ahead and ullage. Very stable. And we'll kill it there. 476 by 464. That is not too bad, if I do say so myself. And as a legacy, because I copied this over from other things, we have these two antennas. Just because we have them. Alright. We don't need those ullage boosters. We'll jettison that thing. And we're going to need to turn on our RCS. And then turn it swiftly off again. Because there really is just not a lot of fuel on this thing. And let's switch to not docking mode. And angle ourselves accordingly. So as to mitigate as much of the electric draw as we can. That's pretty good. Not showing anything positive on that charge, though. Alright, where are we now? Still no? Alright, fine. Maybe that's just because our batteries are full up. And we'll just leave this thing here to do its ScannySat thing. And in the meantime, this, we don't really need this, and it's going to kind of clutter things up, and we don't really need another short-range satellite. So, we will, we need to angle ourselves so that we're not going to run into our satellite. Oh, missed it. But RCS ullaging took care of that for us. So we're going to go ahead and deorbit our transfer stage. $53. That should be good enough. And now we'll just wait for the light show. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and fire off this SEP stage, who cares? That was not what I thought would happen, but okay. And this is a fairly expensive stage. I'm sorry that we didn't get to use, but we do have plans for it. It does have quite a lot of delta V on its own, 3426. I think carrying the satellite, it was, I mean, that's what's left. We burned a quarter of the fuel in there. I think altogether with the satellite, it was about 3,600, perhaps. So you know where the next one of these is going to go, don't you? Yeah. And our bump stage there has burned up. If you can't guess what that's for by now, then, well, I think you know what it's for. It's for delta V. Wasteful, wasteful, wasteful delta V. Alright. But I guess we'll just go ahead and watch this happen with a little bit of inducing time warp. But at the end of it all, that's going to be today's episode. So thanks for hanging out. We'll check back in on that MapSat next time and revel in some of the wonderful, wonderful things it's going to tell us. But until then, everybody, thanks for hanging out. I will see you later.